The next thing you should consider is how many speakers you're going to set up. And of course this is tied in with the budget that you set for your AV amp, because that has an impact on the number of speakers that it can power. The majority of films are either mixed in 5.1 or 7.1. Beyond that, I don't know of any movies that go beyond 7.1. Then there are the Atmos mixed tracks, and it will just say Atmos, and that includes front and back, and it's up to your AV amp to decode whether it's just going to do the front or the front and back. 5.1, the standard surround is 5 speakers of 5 surround speakers and 1 sub. So how that works, you have a center channel, 2 front, left and right speakers, and then 2 side speakers, left and right for the surround. They're sort of placed just left and right of you. And then you've got a center channel that does all the vocal work, so it's one of the most important speakers actually that you will have. And then you have the sub, which does all the bass. So that's 5.1. Then we have 5.1.2. Now this is where things get a little bit interesting, because the 0.2 are the Atmos speakers. They're the ones that add the height. So those are usually set in line with the front, left and right, and they're put either up high, either set in the ceiling or on the wall, projecting down, depending on what type of speakers you have. There's many options there. You can also have speakers that designed where they place on top of your existing front, left and right speakers, and then fire up and project down again. Those don't work so well. The ones that work better are the ones where you can actually place the speaker up high to add that physical height element to that's 5.1.2. Then beyond that we have 5.1.4, and no surprise that what that is that as well as 2 height speakers at the front, you have 2 height speakers at the back. We're now moving to 7.1, where things sort of 5.1 and 7.1 are the mainstays of surround. The difference with 7.1 is that you have 2 rear left and right speakers behind you. So as well as the front left and right, the side left and right, you have 2 right at the back behind you, left and right also, as well as the center channel and the sub. Then we get to 7.1.2, which is like 5.1.2, where we add the height speakers. So that's the only difference. We add the 2 front height speakers, then we have the front left and right, side left and right, and the rear left and right. And then we have 7.1.4, which again is like the 5.1.4, but we've got the additional 2 height rear speakers as well as the 2 rear speakers placed behind us as well. So those are the key differences. Anyone that's going to move more towards 9.1 or 11.1 or 11.1.4 or those, that's just crazy. Those kind of setups are beyond the realms of the majority of most sort of living room theaters, I would say. You're then looking more towards a setup that's actually physically just a home cinema, and that's all it is. It's a room specially designed for that. Once you get to sort of 11.1 or 9.1.4, 11.1.4 or beyond that, you will either need a very big room and a very understanding spouse to have all these speakers around you, or you're using a home cinema. You actually have a room that you can designate as a home cinema. That's the only time that you would want that. At the moment, sort of 7.1.4 really is the limit for most rooms that you're actually going to live in as well, without it being too overcrowded. In the UK, I would say what I have right now is the limit for most living rooms, sort of 5.1.4, maybe 7.1.4, but our rooms are slightly smaller than, because only a small island, come on. But yeah, so those are the things you really need to consider. What kind of surround are you looking for? And also understand that the majority of movies are mixed in 5.1, 7.1 or Atmos. So beyond that, all that your amp is going to do is replicate sounds from the sound processed from another speaker. It's not going to do anything fundamentally different with that extra channel. It's just copying an existing channel as well. So those are the things you need to consider. And now we'll move on to some other things that you need to think about before you buy your system.